Boy, do we got a lot of shit to talk about this week, and I mean a lot more than my Eagles losing to the Carolina Panthers. As always, before I get into my week review, week preview, I want to talk a little bit more about the Eagles game. The one main thing I want to talk about is Chip Kelly and why I'm just absolutely, completely done with him. Now, I made up my mind that he's not the coach that's going to take us anywhere after that Washington loss, after that loss to the Redskins. But last night, he was interviewed after the game, as all coaches, or 2 nights ago, I should say, after the game where the coach gives their press conference. And, was questioned about why Ryan Matthews didn't get more touches out of the backfield after he had, that big touchdown run. And he said the usual rhetoric of well, he was in the game. It's just that when he was in the game, they chose to do pass plays rather than running plays. And I'm like, okay, all right, that's a plausible possibility. Now, the next morning, yesterday morning, Chip Kelly was interviewed on WIP, a local sports talk station here in Philadelphia, and the host of the show, Angelo Cataldi, asks him, why didn't Ryan Matthews get more touches after he had that big touchdown run? He only got the ball 3 times after that. 3 times. In a whole complete second half of the game, he got the ball 3 times. So Chip Kelly said, Deuce Staley, the running back coach, he basically, calls the run plays and whatnot, and I trust his judgment and all this, and, a lot of times he was in there. They chose to do passing plays rather than running plays. Basically the same thing you heard the night before. Chip Kelly does his day after press conference. This is about 1 o'clock-ish yesterday. Porter asks him, why didn't you give Ryan Matthews more touches after that big touchdown run he had? He had a 63-yard touchdown run. After that, he only got the ball 3 times. Chip Kelly says, well, earlier in the game, there was a 20-yard run that Ryan Matthews had, and he tweaked his hamstring, and he was battling that all night, and we didn't want to risk worse injury by giving him the ball much more. So, the 20-yard run that happened way early on in the game came before he breaks a 63-yard, take it to the house touchdown run. But he had a bad hamstring? A Panthers fan, since you're not going to be biased in assessing this, did it look like Ryan Matthews had a bad hamstring when he was juking Luke Kuechly? I mean, I'm sorry, you can't have a half of a hamstring, a bad hamstring, even slightly tweaked hamstring to break Luke Kuechly hawking you down. You have to be full fucking throttle. Luke Kuechly is a fucking beast. He is the best linebacker pursuing a rusher. I can take a lot of fucking things out of a coach because I know a coach is going to lie. A coach is going to lie about any number of things. It's just going to happen. I accept that. But when you talk to me and the fan base like we're fucking stupid, like we don't listen to the press conference after the game, the interview you gave the morning after the game, and then all of a sudden by noon it's the guy had an injury, what are you going to try and tell me? You're going to try and tell me you didn't know that? By the next morning, you didn't know that after the game? Your running back coach, Deuce Staley, didn't say to you at some point during the game, say, oh man, Ryan's got a tweaked hamstring, we really shouldn't run him anymore. And then you don't include that in the post-game press conference? You don't include that in the morning? I am so fucking tired of this guy. Go back to fucking college. Go back, go to USC. Go to where the fuck ever in Texas you want to coach. I don't care. I just don't care. That's the one thing about this season right now is if this team dies and it's by Chip Kelly's doing, that's what I'm hoping for. Whatever gets this motherfucker out of town faster, that's what I'm hoping for. Which brings me to something else that I didn't think about until I saw Chip Kelly and just the blatant fucking liar he is. Again, I can take lying from the coaches. Head coaches around the league are going to lie. If he's talking to us, the fan base, like we're that stupid, imagine what he's saying to his players, and if his players actually accept the shit that he is shoveling in their faces. And then that brings me to, why was there so many drop passes in the game on Sunday night? I mean, it just doesn't really make sense. Now, granted, okay, Jordan Matthews has been consistently dropping balls all this year, but Josh Huff had a very catchable ball in the back of the end zone that he dropped for a touchdown. Darren Sproles, who is not known for having the dropsies, is really having the dropsies this year. I don't like to say or think that teams are throwing in the towel, but I'll tell you what, if this drop pass shit starts happening as consistently as it's been happening, I gotta wonder if these guys are throwing this season when there was a mountain of hype that came a lot more than just from the fan base. Vegas odds makers and the professional analysts all around the league had the Eagles as one of the top teams to be a probable Super Bowl contender. That mountain of hype and this team, I don't know. Are they really trying as hard as they can? How hard is it to catch a fucking football when you are a professional NFL receiver? It's really got me wondering about things. It really does. And I'm not big into conspiracy theories and all that, but you do have to start wondering if these guys are trying as hard for Chip as they want to. Anyways, that's all I got to add from the game. Congrats to the Panthers. You're the better team. Our team can't catch the ball. When a team can't catch the ball, you better fucking win. Anyway, just wanted to talk about that Chip Kelly lying out his ass, and the scary thought of this team is literally not trying to win games. Anyway, I don't know. It's just something that's lurking in my mind now, and I don't like it. Week 7 started off Seattle at San Francisco. Seattle wins 20-3, continuing a streak of, I talked how the Carolina Panthers are unimpressive this year. Seattle is every bit as unimpressive this year. From giving up that late loss to Carolina, I know, by that, giving credit to Carolina, to having to have one of the worst referee blown calls, misunderstandings, whatever you want to call it, to give Seattle a win, barely, over the Detroit Lions in Seattle, to a team that's lost to the Rams and Nicky Six. Like, this Seattle team is fucking flimsy as shit, and I do not like that going into this week. God damn you. We'll get into that in the Week 8 preview. Buffalo at Jacksonville. Buffalo battled back in a game where, what were they down? 24. It was like 24-3 at one point, I think. I forget what it was. It was by more than 20 points. Battled back in this game, even overcoming a late Shady McCoy fumble at the 2-1 yard line before they're going in for a touchdown. Battled back past that in the fourth quarter to retake the lead, only to let the Jaguars, the stinking Jaguars, drive down and win the game. As someone said to me, I think they said on Twitter, with every week passing by, I think it was a Giants fan, with every week passing by, that big win the Giants had against the Buffalo Bills just doesn't look impressive. And frankly, everything Buffalo has done this year doesn't look impressive. Everyone thought like, oh, they made a statement in week 1 when they beat Indianapolis, kicked the shit out of them, but now it's like, well, look at Indianapolis. They're nothing. So what's that say about Buffalo? They beat Indianapolis. Woohoo! Yeah, this Bills team is in trouble. Like like in big time trouble. Like in Rex Ryan might not last one single fucking year trouble. Anyway, Minnesota at Detroit. What more to say? Detroit lost again. I mean, if you want to see guys start giving half-ass effort, start watching Detroit Lion games, because when a team is picked to be a probable playoff contender and stuff like this, and then you end up being a one-win team by the halfway point in the season, you ain't gonna see guys trying to play football. It's just gonna be bad football from here on out. Speaking of the Colts, they lost at home to the New Orleans Saints, who New Orleans is all of a sudden kind of sort of heating up right now. It might be too little too late, but now they all of a sudden are starting to play like a real football team. It's like, where did this come from? Why didn't you see a hint of this in the first 5 games of the season? Anyway, the Colts lose again, 27-21. Andrew Luck looks terrible. I know him and T.Y. Hilton got their thing going, but I mean, that's when they're committing to the pass on every single play in the second half of the game. So one of your receivers better look fucking good if all you're doing is passing the ball. Pittsburgh at Kansas City. Kansas City got another win. Isn't that special? There's not much else left to say. Pittsburgh's playing with a third-string quarterback. What more can you expect? I'm sorry, does this say the Miami Dolphins scored 44 points? Holy shit! 26-44, the Dolphins over the Texans, and the Texans' points were all garbage time points. All garbage time. I think this was like 41-0 at the half. The Dolphins got like one extra field goal in the second half, but I mean, they just completely took their foot off the throttle, which respectably they should have. Don't look now, but Miami Dolphins got rid of their coach, got a new one in there, and they are playing passionate football. I know this is just the Texans, and who the hell the Dolphins beat last week? I forget. Oh, Tennessee, yeah. So, but still, 38 points against Tennessee, 44 points against the Texans. I don't care who you're playing. You put up 35-plus points in 2 weeks in a row? The most combined points out of any 2 weeks so far this season? Look out. I feel sorry who has to play them in the near future. Sorry, I had to stretch there. Jets versus the Patriots. One thing I want to bring out. All right, now, Patriots dropped a lot of footballs in this game, including a very catchable touchdown pass in the end zone. Just want to say, the ball pressure is being monitored this year, right? Just want to say it, right? Have you ever seen Patriots receivers drop balls as much as you did in that game? Just saying. Anyways, this game is affirmation of why Tom Brady is the greatest fucking quarterback ever. I mean, collectively with all the rings and everything, and yeah, I know he cheated to win. Fuck that. If this game didn't prove to you that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time, one, to be doing this at his age, and two, to be doing this against a very good defensive team, a team that had one loss coming into this season, who the hell even beat that team? Ugh, sorry, had to stretch there. This is a game where, correct me if I'm wrong, the Patriots ran the ball 5 times, not counting Tom Brady's rushing attempts, like the one where he ran into the end zone for the touchdown. Tom Brady was literally 99% of the offensive effort in this game. I mean, other than the receivers catching the balls and stuff. He's responsible for where the ball got to where it was. Tom Brady put on one of the most impressive singular player performances I've ever seen. And it's not like saying, like, oh, Drew Brees threw for over 500 yards last week. Well, Drew Brees lost. Tom Brady won. And frankly, what he did was a lot more impressive than putting up 500 yards in a game. It pains me to say it because I hate that fucking team. I hate Tom Brady. But there is no denying who is the fucking GOAT. He is a fucking tin can eating motherfucking grass nibbling goat on that football field. Jesus fucking Christ, I want to vomit. Cleveland at St. Louis. St. Louis wins. Cleveland loses. Yippity-doo. Todd Gurley is the fucking shit. Oh my God. That guy, I mean, it's not that he's been overly impressive this year, but it's like you see greatness when Gurley takes the ball. Son of a bitch. That team, gets someone better than Nick Foles at quarterback, look the fuck out. Congratulations, Los Angeles. You're going to have a really good team to root for in the near future. Talk about unimpressive teams in the NFC South. Atlanta beat, that's quotation marks, the Tennessee Titans 10-7. A win is a win, I guess. But that was probably one of the weakest teams that you're going to see Atlanta play. And you put up a 10 spot on them? Beat them by 3 points? Atlanta Falcons fans are going to talk shit to the Panther fans like the Panthers have done anything? Tampa Bay. You good-for-nothing motherfuckers. Losing to the Washington Redskins after you had a 24-0 lead. The biggest comeback win in Washington Redskins history. How do you not get a touchdown when you have a 1st and goal from the 2 fucking yard line? Because you are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Go back to fucking playing college football where you guys belong, Buccaneers. Good for nothing, motherfuckers. See, that set the tone of the day where I was like, God damn it. NFC East team won. Oh, we're setting up a goddamn letdown. And you knew another NFC East team was going to win because 2 NFC East teams were playing in the 4 o'clock game at Washington, New York. We'll get to that in a second. NFC East fans, I hate to tell you this, but the team playing the best football in the NFC East is the Washington Redskins. Now, they may not have as many wins as the Giants or anything like that, but like I kind of alluded to earlier, like, you know, the Giants' big statement win of the year that got people to turn their heads was that win over the Buffalo Bills, where it now turns out that beating Buffalo is not really worth an ounce of bragging. And it's a little concerning that I think that Washington has as good a chance of winning the NFC East as anyone else does right now. I mean, other than Dallas, but we'll get to that in a second. This Redskins team battled the Dolphins in week 1, barely lost that game, lost Deshaun Jackson in that game, battled Atlanta, took them to overtime. I mean, these are 2 games they lost. So that's the thing, like, they're battling, they're nose to nose in every game. They had a huge monster comeback, which was a lot more impressive than any other team has done in the NFC East. I don't care if it's the Buccaneers or not. You're down 24-0. If you're a team like the Redskins, like, you know, we're in the basement, we're tied with the Cowboys, you know, we're not going to win this game, we're down 24-0. That team played inspired football. Honestly, if my Eagles got down 24-0 to the Buccaneers, they probably wouldn't come back to win. If you want me to be straight honest with you, do you think Dallas would try and battle back to win? Do you think the Giants would try and battle back to win? Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't. But the bottom line is the Washington Redskins are playing the most impressive football in the NFC East right now. They're not world beaters by any stretch of the imagination. And Dallas, I hate to break it to you, but I don't hear any excuses coming out of the Redskins fans. But they're playing with their backup quarterback and their top-tier premier wide receiver injured. I haven't heard one fucking complaint out of the Redskins fans. I heard a lot of fucking crying, saying, we're playing without Des and Tony. Of course we lost 4 games in a row. Which brings us to I'll skip over. Oakland beat San Diego 37-29. Yay, Oakland, you won another game and fucked up your draft pick. Dallas at the New York Giants. Giants won 27-20. Dallas fans, when the Giants had that late kickoff return for the touchdown, that 100-yard kickoff return, I just want to know if Desert Tony was playing, who was the one that was going to make the tackle to just make sure there wasn't a run back for a touchdown there? Would it have been Dez or Tony? Which one of the two would have made that tackle there? Oh, and then when the Giants punted back at the end of the game with it's like a minute or like 50 seconds, whatever left, when they punted the ball back to Cole Beasley, and Cole Beasley, what looks like, if you watch the replay, it's like he's trying to catch the ball up here. As a punt returner, you're supposed to kind of keep your hands down here by your chest and kind of cradle it. But whatever, he's a shit punt returner. He's someone who's never going to take the ball to the house, which I don't know why you would have someone like that as a punt returner who has 0% chance of taking a ball to the house. I'm just curious, if Dez or Tony were playing, which one of Dez or Tony were going to be in there for Cole Beasley to get that punt instead of him muffing it, Giants getting it, and ending the game? I just want to know which one of Dez or Tony. What's that? You're running out of excuses? Fuck you, Dallas. I'm so fucking tired of all the fucking excuses for this team. When someone like Barry Church gets burnt by CJ Spiller in overtime against the Saints, and that's how you end up losing a fucking game, to not stopping a kickoff return for a touchdown, to having Cole Beasley muff a punt and losing because of that. You aren't losing because of Tony and Dez on the field. Yeah, you might have won a game or two more if you had Dez or Tony, but bottom line is you can point to so many of these games and they have nothing to do with Dez or Tony there. Again, you don't hear any excuses out of the Washington Redskins fans. Why do you fucking guys have so many excuses? Fuck you and fuck your organization. Stay in the fucking basement where you belong. All by yourself this week. Brrr! Redskins ain't there to spoon with you and keep you warm, motherfuckers! And our final game of the week, Monday Night Football. The Baltimore Ravens lose again, 26-18. Isn't it great to hear me talk about the Dallas Cowboys? Isn't it great? So alone in the basement. Thursday Night Football. In a game that you looked at weeks ago and said, well, there's another easy Patriots win. The Patriots are facing off against the biggest back-to-back week juggernaut in the league right now in the Miami Dolphins. Big game to start off week 8, and I'm going to enjoy this because we'll find out if Miami has been fluking their way through these past 2 weeks against 2 weak opponents. Let's be real. It's not impressive so much beating the Titans and the Texans, but beating the shit out of them and putting 38 and 44 points respectively on them, that's got my attention. Playing in New England, and New England has seemed to have the Dolphins' number a lot more than the Dolphins have had theirs. Man. Well, Patriots fans can either take this as good news or bad news, but I'm going to pick the Dolphins to win. You never pick the Patriots to win. You never do. Shut up. Oh, boy. Wow. What a fucking treat. Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm sorry. Where is this? Is this game being played in England? Yeah, Wembley Stadium. Oh, England. On behalf of America, welcome. We're going to give you 2 of the shittiest fucking football teams to put on a game for you. Detroit at Kansas City. Well, it's technically a Kansas City home game, but anyway. In Wembley Stadium. Detroit. Who cares? Atlanta. At home against Tampa Bay. Atlanta sure as fuck didn't impress me last week. Not much at all. They're at home. I don't think they're that bad of a football team. In Tampa, the way they fucking folded like an accordion and let Washington come back in that game. I got Atlanta winning. San Diego at Baltimore. I had San Diego win in Baltimore. I'm sorry, man, but you're going to lose another game at home. Play for a good draft pick. Minnesota at Chicago. Minnesota's only favored by 2 on the road. I don't know. I see Minnesota winning this game by double digits. Arizona at Cleveland. See, this is like that the trap type game. I don't know if the Cardinals fans see this as a trap type game, but this has trap written all over it. Cleveland's coming off a stinking loss the previous week. Arizona's playing good football. I mean, they beat the fucking Ravens last night, but I feel this game is trap written all over it. And Arizona's that team where they play world beater football one week, and not to say they played world beater football against the Ravens, but then play shit. I think they're just due for another round of shit performance here, and I think Cleveland's gonna win. Tennessee at Houston. Wow, what a great fucking game that's gonna be. Houston wins at home. Congratulations, Tennessee. Your draft pick is looking better and better. New York Giants at the New Orleans Saints. Well, Giants look like shit against the Eagles. Should have done what I thought was a lot more against the Cowboys, especially when the Cowboys were turning the ball over so much. Agreed, technically there would have been more points if the Giants didn't run out the clock at the end there. They could have, kicked a field goal or went in for a touchdown, but that's football. Go to victory formation at that point. New Orleans is playing good. New Orleans is the favorite by 3.5 already. Wow. That's a tough one because you don't know if New Orleans is really the real deal again, because beating the Colts is not really much of anything to pat your back about this year. I got the Giants winning. I don't think New Orleans is a good team. I don't. The way they looked against the Eagles too, that solidified me. Like I can't see a team play that bad and think they're gonna go up against a team that I feel is pretty decent in the Giants and beat them. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Not sure if Big Ben is supposed to be back for this game, but either way, I think Cincinnati's going to get some more attention to their season that they're waving behind the Packers and the Patriots. They're like, guys, we're here too. Hello. These two guys that are running in front of us, we're here too. Anyways, look for Cincinnati to make that wave a little bit more bigger. San Francisco at St. Louis. St. Louis. Look for Gurley to have at least $150 in this game. Because that San Fran defense fucking blows. New York Jets at the Oakland Raiders. It's tough because I think the Jets got their back broke because they've always been the bitch of the AFC East, predominantly, the majority of the time that Tom Brady's been there. And the Jets gave them every possible thing they could. Like, that was the best game you could have seen played out of the Jets, both offensive and defensively. And they couldn't beat a team that didn't run the ball. They were like, you know what? Fuck your noise. We're not even going to run the ball. We're going to make an offensive game plan that is so obvious, and we're going to beat you with our fucking GOAT. And that's what they did. I mean, how do you recover from that? They need some time to lick their wounds over that one. I got Oakland fucking up their draft pick and winning at home. I'm sorry, Jets fans. I'm sorry. Seattle at Dallas. All right. Now this sets up a very, very interesting situation, and I don't know why there is no analyst or anyone out there talking about this because this is a very likely probable situation. If the Giants win at 1 o'clock and Dallas loses their 4 o'clock game against Seattle, the Giants would then be at 5 wins. Dallas would be down at 2 wins. We're going into week 8, or then week 9, I should say, the following week. We're going into week 9, and if you have 5 wins and someone has 2 wins in your division, that's it. There is no way that that team in top is losing 3 more games that you are going to win. Like, to put it into summary, if the Giants, and look at the rest of their schedule, if the Giants win 5 games out of their next 8 games after this game against the Saints, if the Giants win 5 out of 8, which is very probable looking at their schedule, if they win 5 out of 8, Dallas has to win all 8 games to win the NFC East. And let's be real, there is no wild card spot coming out, so don't think that Dallas can still play for a wild card spot at this point. Why is no one talking about the fact that Dallas will just flat out not bring Tony or Dez back this year? Because I tell you right now, it will be fucking stupid if you go past this week and the Giants win, Dallas loses, to just say, sorry, we are benching Tony and Dez for the rest of the year. It makes no fucking sense rushing Dez back from an injury or rushing Tony back from an injury. Why would you do that? Not to mention, neither are supposed to be back for week 9. Tony was supposed to be back by, the week 11 matchup against the Dolphins. It's November 22nd, whatever it is. That's 3 weeks from now. 4 weeks from now, if I can do my math right. Anyway, including this week. Dez might be back the week after next, but still, if Dallas loses, and if Dallas loses next week as well, it's absolutely done. It's over. And no one is talking about this. I don't understand, why is anyone mentioning this? I'm the only person I've heard that's mentioning this. And it would be, like, how would it be smart to bring, because God forbid that gap gets to 4 games? Play with some smarts. Bench those motherfuckers. Play for a good draft pick. But you know what? I hope they don't use common sense. And frankly, Jerry's going to want his primetime players out there. Not to mention, the game 2 weeks from now is the Eagles at Dallas. Sunday night game of the week. That just confirms the NFC East bias. If that game in 2 weeks, that week 10 matchup against the week 9 matchup, the Giants at, the Eagles are on the bye. Yeah, it is week 9. Jesus Christ, I fucking suck at math. Numbers confuse me, people. If that game is not flexed out, that Eagles at Cowboys game, especially if Dallas loses to Seattle, that confirms the NFC East bias, because you're going to have 2 teams that have a total of 5 wins playing each other in a week 9 matchup, and that game doesn't get flexed out. Fucking Carolina and Green Bay are playing Sunday. How can that not be the Sunday night game of the week? Especially both Carolina and Green Bay are undefeated going into that. I'd much rather see that game Sunday night than see 2 teams with 5 wins total. Anyways, Seattle wins, beating Dallas at home. Green Bay at Denver. Oh my God! The clash of the undefeated Titans! Rodgers, Manning, who are we fucking kidding? The Broncos are the biggest fucking 6-0 frauds that this league has ever seen. Green Bay is going to humble that motherfucking Broncos squad and in Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning, who, well, did have the sole lead for interceptions in the league till Sam Bradford had something to say about that and throw a pickup in this game against the Panthers. It's time for the Broncos and their fans to come back down to earth, because you can only win so many games with your defense. Solely because of your defense. It's nice to have a defense to pull out wins here and there, but you're winning games solely because of your defense. The majority of your games so far. Yeah, Peyton has looked good in like 2 games so far this year. The motherfucker has 10 interceptions, or is it 11? Whatever. Once it gets to double digits, it confuses me. And frankly, Aaron Rodgers isn't the quarterback who's going to throw interceptions that are going to cost their team the game, unlike the Broncos' opponents have this year. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to be just sitting there with my fist clenched. I'm going to be, yeah, get him, Aaron Rodgers. I fucking hate you. Anyway, look for the Broncos to lose at home. Oh, I hope it is just a loss of epic proportions. Epic proportions. No, my luck, the fucking Denver will kick the shit out of them and I'll have to be like, oh, Peyton Manning's back, I think. Indianapolis at Carolina. Carolina? You better win this game. Oh, boy. Because all those people that are saying what you've done has been not so impressive, you can't afford to lose this game against a very bad Colts team coming into your house Monday Night Football. You better win. And you will win. Picking the Panthers to win. Buys this week, Buffalo, Jacksonville. Fitting that both of them have the bye since the Jacksonville's still celebrating their Super Bowl of the season, beating the Buffalo Bills, and Buffalo's still licking their wounds. Philadelphia and Washington. So, with Philadelphia having the bye this week, there is no Eagles preview video this week. So, that means I'm going to make a video featuring me and gay porn. Probably not, but great week of football. Even though my Eagles lost, it was just another fun week of football, and that's what I love about the NFL so much, is that even if my team is fucking stinking the bed and like now has me mentally thinking, are they throwing games on purpose now just to get their coach fired? I can still enjoy the other games and the passion and seeing the Cowboys get gagged by the fucking Giants. As always, fuck the Dallas Cowboys. Have a good day. I'll see you guys in the very near future with another football video. Have a good day, everyone.